ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति सुपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपथकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सगण ललिता शिवशाखान्वितंश्च ये कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी शबानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिधि नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी मूकं करोति वाचालं भङ्गं लङ्घायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दिनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यमीश्वरं योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसूप्तां सञ्जीवयति अखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्नाम् अन्यां च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणां नमो भगवते वृषाय तुभ्यं जयदं श्रुतो पङ्गुर्मम मन्दमतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्य पादाम्बुजो राधामदनमोहनो तमादिदेवं करुणानिधानं तमालवर्णं सुहितावतारम् अपार संसार समुद्र सेतुं भजामहे भागवत स्वरूपम् परमानंद पाठाय प्रेमवर्षीयक्षराय दे सर्वदा सर्वसेव्याय श्रीकृष्णाय नमोस्तु मे गुरुवे गौरचंद्राय राधिकाय तदाले कृष्णाय कृष्ण भक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। हरे कृष्णा हरि ओम तत्सत। So welcome all the devotees for today's Srimad Bhagavatam class. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, fourth chapter, second verse onwards. Hare Krishna, Mayuri Mataji and Vandana Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare.
Pranam.
So I'll recite the shloka, text 2. शौनक उवाच सूत महाभागा वदनो वदतांबर कथं भागवतीं पुण्यं यदाह भगवान् शुका। शौनक उवाच सूत महाभागा वदनो वदतांबर कथां भागवतीं पुण्यं यदाह भगवान् शुका। हरि बोल। जुबे माता जी।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु।
हरे कृष्ण।
शौनक उवाच सूद महाभागा वदानो वददाम्बरा कदां भागवती पुण्यं यदाह भगवान् शुका।
वंदना माता जी।
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can you make it little down so that I can read Hindi shloka? Yes. Okay, Prabhuji. Sonak uvacha सूत महाभाग वदनो वदतांबर कथां भागवतीं पुण्यां यदा भगवान् शुका। हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण। मयूरी माता जी।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। शौनक उवाच सूत महाभाग वदनो वदतांवर कथां भागवतीं पुण्यां यदा भगवान् शुकः।
Sinimadaji.
Hare Krishna.
ഗുരുജിനി എനിക്കത് എവിടെയാണെന്ന് മനസ്സിലായി.
Shaunaka uvacha Sudha Sudha Mahabhaga no vadatam vara kadam bhagavatim punyam yadaha bhagavan chukaha.
Okay, and Shailaja Mataji, the
ഗുരുജി എനിക്കത് എവിടെയാണെന്ന് മനസ്സിലായില്ല.
ഇത്
ഭാഗവതത്തിലെ എവിടെ?
ഫസ്റ്റ് കാൻഡോയില് 4-ാമത്തെ അധ്യായത്തില് 2-ാമത്തെ ശ്ലോകമാണ്. ഇല്ല, കുഴപ്പമില്ല, ഇതിലും വായിക്കാൻ പറ്റുന്നുണ്ടാവില്ല. കുഴപ്പമില്ല, വായിച്ചാലും കുഴപ്പമില്ല, മതി, നോ പ്രോബ്ലം, ഇറ്റ്സ് ഓക്കെ. അപ്പൊ ഇതിന്റെ നൗ വിൽ read the translation. Shaunaka said, "O Sudha Goswami, you are the most fortunate and respected of all those who can speak and recite. Please relate the pious message of Srimad Bhagavatam, which was spoken by the great and powerful sage Sukadeva Goswami." So Shaunaka is the head of all the sages assembled in Naimisharanya. So that head of the sages, Shaunaka, is requesting Sudha Goswami, Sudha Sutta Mahabhaga. Mahabhaga means you are the most fortunate. Why? He has been assigned or he has been selected to recite Srimad Bhagavatam at Naimisharanya. After Sutta Ramaharshana was sent back home by our Sri Balaram, who was selected? Sudha Goswami was selected, his son was selected to recite Srimad Bhagavatam, to repeat what he heard from Sukadeva Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj. So he is the most fortunate one because he could hear Sudha Goswami speak Srimad Bhagavatam, assimilate it, and retell that whatever he heard. He heard it with rapt attention. So whatever he heard, he repeated, he recited it exactly the same way. Those days it was possible, they had the memory power to repeat whatever they heard. In this age of Kali, it is not possible. If we hear something, if we have to repeat, it is a big task. Can we? Just two lines, 2 sentences if we hear, we cannot repeat it as it is. There'll be addition, there'll be deletion, there'll be mistakes, everything. Isn't it? We cannot retell that or re-recite that exactly how we have heard it. So those days, it was possible because they were intelligent, their memory power was good, and they had the blessings of the Supreme Lord also. Here, now we are living in the age of Kali. Okay? The influence of Kali has affected all of us. Prayena alpayusha sabhya kalau asmin juge janaha mandaha sumandamadayo mandabhagya ubadha. So in the age of Kali, these are our qualifications. In fact, it's not qualification, it's disqualifications. Okay? What is that? Prayena alpayusha. Our age is short. Lifespan is short. Alpa ayusha. Manda, we are very lazy. Sumanda Madayo, less fortunate. And, less intelligent. And less fortunate. Manda Bhagya. Ubhadrada, always disturbed. So with all these negative qualities or qualification, it is not possible for us to remember whatever we have heard. So that is the reason Vyasadeva put it in writing. He recorded it. Okay? Because we cannot remember everything. Our memory power is very short. Because we have filled our brain with so many anarthas, unwanted things, which is not necessary for our survival. But still, because of influence of the time and the yuga that we are living in, it is impossible for us to have that memory which they had in the earlier yugas. So he is very, very fortunate. Who Shaunaka is telling Sudha Goswami, he is very fortunate because he got the opportunity to recite and speak this Srimad Bhagavatam, the Amala Purana, okay, the ripened fruit of the Vedic literature. So please relate the pious message of Srimad Bhagavatam, which was spoken by the great and powerful sage Sukadeva Goswami. So he's requesting to speak the Srimad Bhagavatam, which was spoken by the powerful sage Sukadeva Goswami. So Sukadeva Goswami is powerful sage in front of all the elderly sages. He's speaking. Who? Sukadeva Goswami was just 16, 17 years old. All the audience, the people who were listening were like Vyasadeva, his own father, okay, Parashara, and what do you call, Narada Maharshi, all were there. All the sages, elderly personalities were. So he was selected to speak. So he is also not an ordinary person, a powerful sage. So Sudha Goswami is twice addressed herein by Shaunaka Goswami out of great joy. Sudha. In the sloka, it is mentioned Sudha twice. Why? Because of great joy. Because he and the members of the assembly were eager to hear the text of Bhagavatam uttered by Sukadeva Goswami. They were not interested in hearing it from a bogus person who would interpret in his own way to suit his own purpose. That's why Prabhupada always insists that we should hear it from a bona fide person. The person who comes in proper discipline succession. Parampara. If I have a guru, he should have a guru. You should have a guru. And ultimately, we should reach Krishna through the Guru Parampara. So that is a bona fide succession. Not from any self-proclaimed guru. A guru should have a guru. He should have a guru. Like that, he should reach the Supreme Guru. That is Lord Sri Krishna. So only then he can give the message as it is. Otherwise, they will interpolate everything, misinterpret everything. For what? To suit his own purpose. They will have some hidden agendas. So should be very careful from whom to listen. From whom to listen. Generally, the so-called Bhagavatam reciters are either professional readers or so-called learned impersonalists who cannot enter into the transcendental personal activities of Supreme Person. So Prabhupada warns us, generally, especially in the age of Kali, why people are reciting Srimad Bhagavatam not out of love of Krishna, but for their survival, just to make money, so that they can serve their livelihood. That is the purpose. And otherwise, again, it is another point is here, either professional readers or so-called learned impersonalists. Now, even if they speak Srimad Bhagavatam, they will speak from the point of impersonalism, from the viewpoint of impersonalism. So they will not be able to enter into the transcendental personal activities of Supreme Person. They will speak all the principles or philosophies nicely, but they will not be able to enjoy the leelas of the Supreme Personality of Godhead because they don't believe in the form of the Supreme Person. So they say these are all imaginary. They will not say this has really happened. They will say these are all imaginary. So they don't believe that this Leela has really happened, but this is only for us to get into that realm so that we can have impersonal realization. So this is the defects of impersonal realization. They cannot enter into the transcendental personal activities, Leelas. Okay? Transcendental personal activities means the Leelas of the Supreme Lord. Such impersonalists twist some meanings out of Bhagavatam to suit this and support impersonal views, and the professional readers at once go to the 10th canto to misexplain the most confidential part of the Lord's pastime. So what Prabhupada says, or rather warns us, that we should not listen from to such people, because they will immediately jump into the 10th canto and they want to enjoy the rasa dance of the Supreme Lord with the gopis. And they will misinterpret and that topic also, misexplain. Okay, so that we should be very careful. So Prabhupada tells us, rather instructs us, we should go canto by canto, chapter by chapter, verse by verse. Don't jump the cantos. Don't jump straight into the 10th canto. So, first canto, first of all, to understand the Leelas of the Supreme Lord, we should know the greatness of the Supreme Lord. Only then we will accept that. Otherwise, we'll think that these are all imaginary. These are all mythology or mythology. So, first, to understand the Leelas of the Supreme Lord, we should know the greatness of the Supreme Lord. So, to know the greatness of Supreme Lord, we should read scrutinizingly up to 9th canto. Up to 9th canto. Then we know who the Supreme Personality of Godhead or Krishna is. Once we know his greatness, then we can digest the Leelas performed by him. Otherwise, they will think that these are all mythology, this not happen. And we will treat Lord Krishna and Radharani and other gopis just like the relationship of the present world between boys and girls. So it's an offense also. So first of all, we should understand the greatness of the Supreme Lord. Then only we can digest other activities, the Rasa Leela and such activities of Supreme Lord. So these people will immediately jump into the 10th canto without understanding the greatness, and they will misexplain most of the confidential part of the Lord pastime that are given in the 10th canto. Neither of these reciters are bona fide persons to recite Bhagavatam. They are not bona fide persons to recite Bhagavatam. They are not authorities. Only one who is prepared to present Bhagavatam in the light of Sukadeva Goswami, and only those who are prepared to hear Sukadeva Goswami and his representative are bona fide participants in this, in the transcendental discussion of Srimad Bhagavatam. So some people, they have knowledge, but they don't have bhakti. So bhakti, knowledge without bhakti is useless. That is what we understand from this purport. Knowledge is there, they have knowledge, but they don't have bhakti. So knowledge without bhakti is useless. So bhakti is the culmination of all other. Bhakti yoga is the culmination of other yogas like karma, jnana, and dhyana. Bhakti contains everything. Bhakti has activity, knowledge, meditation, and bhakti itself. So jnana, if it is without bhakti, is of no use. So most of the reciters of Bhagavatam, especially from the impersonal school of thought, they don't have bhakti towards the Supreme Lord. They have knowledge. They are doing rituals, but they don't have love of Godhead. So they will not be able to enter into the intricacies of the Supreme Lord's Leelas. So one has to be very careful not to hear from such personalities, because we will be confused by hearing that. So here the Shaunaka Rishi is explaining, or is rather telling, that Sudha Mahabhaga, you are the most fortunate because you could listen this topic, Srimad Bhagavatam, from the great Sukadeva Goswami. And now you are assigned to recite this to all of us. So we are also fortunate to receive this knowledge directly from you, because you are also a pure devotee of the Lord. Krishna. So text 3. Kasmin yuge pravarteyam sthane vakena hetuna kuda sanchodida Krishna kritavan samhitam munihi. Kasmin yuge pravarteyam sthane vakena hetuna kuda sanchodida Krishna kritavan samhitam muni. Sinimadaji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Kasmin yuge pravarteyam sthane vakeන hetuna huda sanjotida Krishna kritavan samhitam muni.
Hare Bol. Jubi Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Kasmin yuge pravarteyam sthanavakyena heduna
Uda Samchodita Krishna Kridavan Samhida Muni.
Very bold. And Vivek Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
तस्मिन् युगे प्रवर्तेयो स्थाने भागेन हेतुना कुतो संचोदित कृष्ण विद्वान संहिता मुनिः.
Okay, Vandana Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
कस्मिन् युगे प्रवर्तेयं स्थाने वा केन हेतुना कुता संचोदिता कृष्णा कृतवान् संहतां मुनि.
And Mayuri Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
तस्मिन् युगे प्रवृत्तेयं स्थाने वा केन हेतुना कुता संजोदित कृष्णः कृतवान् सहिता मुनिः.
Very bold. Okay. In what period and at what place was this first begun? And why was this taken up? From where did Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa, the great sage, get the inspiration to compile this literature? He's asking. Shavanaka Rishi is asking Siddha Goswami, in what period and at what place was this first begun? And why was this taken up? From where did Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa, the great sage, get the inspiration to compile this literature? Asking about the Srimad Bhagavatam, in what period it started, in which place started, and why was this taken up? Who took it up? Vyasadeva. What's his full name? Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa. So what's the meaning of Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa? Krishna means what? Why his name was Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa? What's the name of Krishna?
Attraction. All
No.
attraction.
Here, in this name, what's the meaning of Krishna? Krishna is here, definitely, it's all attractive. But here in this name, what's the name? What's the meaning?
I think probably his color
Yes,
No.
color, blackish.
blackish. Yeah.
Okay, blackish. Dvaipayana, what is the meaning of Dvaipayana? Where he was born? In a dweep. Okay, he was born in an island.
Jambudip.
No, not Jambudip. In this Bharatavarsha only, in our India only. Okay, Jambudip is a different dweep. It's in that Jambudip, we are in Bharatavarsha, Bharatakanda. But here Dvaipa means dweep, island. Okay. How? To who? Satyavati and Parasara. Okay, both of them were going in a boat on an island. So he was born there at that time. So that's why his name was even Dvaipa Ayana. One who is born in a dweep. Vyasa means one who can, what do you call, expand things. All the Vedic literatures. He has compiled and he has expanded. Initially, the Vedas were, Chaturshloki only. Lord Brahma was given in 4 slokas, Chaturshloki. Then he expanded. So it is there from time immemorial. It is not that Vyasadeva compiled only at that time it started. No. This has come from time immemorial because the very breathing of Vishnu is Vedas. So it is eternal. But only thing is that Vyasadeva compiled it for the benefit of people in the age of Kali. So this is the question. From where did Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa, the great sage, get the inspiration to compile this literature? Who inspired him to compile? So that is, yes, Narada Muni. So it is the caption of this particular chapter. Okay, Narada Muni.
So This was my question also for the last class.
Really?
So, yeah.
Okay. So this is the Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa, and he was inspired by Narada Muni to compile this great literature. Because Srimad Bhagavatam is a special contribution of Srila Vyasadeva, there are so many inquiries by the learned Shaunaka Muni. It was known to them that Srila Vyasadeva had already explained the text of the Vedas in various ways up to the Mahabharata for the understanding of the less intelligent women, Shudras, and fallen members of the family of the twice born men. Now, there'll be some misunderstanding if people read this. So, we have to understand this in the right perspective. It was known to them that Srila Vyasadeva had already explained the text of the Vedas in various ways up to the Mahabharata. So he compiled 4 Vedas. Actually, there was only one Veda. Then he split, or he made it into 4 so that people can understand it in a better way. But then that is also not possible, especially in the age of Kali. It's not possible to understand the Vedas. Then he gave each and every Veda to his assistants or to his students to elaborate it. But these Vedas were more or less dealing with 4 subject matters. What is that? Vedas deal with 4 subject matters.
Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha.
Yeah, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Okay. So that was not enough. He wrote Puranas, he wrote Upanishads, then he wrote Vedanta Sutra. That was also not enough. Then Narada Maharshi, inspired him to write Srimad Bhagavatam, the essence of all the scriptures. The essence. So that is what here. Already explained the text, even up to the Mahabharata, and these are all meant for Mahabharata, especially the Idihasas, meant for less intelligent women, Shudras, and fallen members of the family of twice born. Why women, Shudras, and fallen members are mentioned here specifically? What is the reason? Less intelligence, they mentioned. Less intelligent women, Shudras, and fallen members of family of twice born. Can anyone say? Women, Shudras, and the family members of the twice born, fallen family members.
That time, Prabhuji, that was women were not having much education, or they are not able to have access to the knowledge. So that is why maybe they are taken.
No, we cannot say that. See, if they had no education, how come Kunti Maharani wrote a very beautiful stuti about Sri Krishna? They were not educated. How come Gopika Geet, the essence of all the Vedic literatures, they could glorify Supreme Lord?
They were intelligent, but some of the ladies may not be that much educated. That is why maybe I'm not.
Yeah, okay, no problem. Yes,
Many ladies are there. They can able to explain this one better.
Yeah, because according to Varnashrama, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Okay, so Brahmanas are intelligent class. Kshatriyas are below that, they are ruling class, and Vaishyas are mercantile class. Shudras are supporting class. This Varnashrama Dharma. Okay, it is there. Even it is prevalent now, but it is not going in that direction. That's why we are following Devi Varnashrama Dharma. So ladies were mostly into the household chores. They were not learning Vedas or anything. So their duty was just to support the husband who is a devotee. So they are intelligent, but as far as Vedic knowledge is concerned, because they are totally involved in the household chores, they were not exposed to such things. So they were not taught Vedic literatures those days. Anybody can learn, but this is general thing. And Shudras, since they are in the mode of ignorance, so their intelligence is also not up to the mark to study the Vedas. So that is why. And other fallen members of family of twice born. What is the meaning of twice born?
Like after Upanayana, you are giving another life.
Yeah. Twice born means Brahmanas. Okay, they have taken the Upanayana samskara. They have become. What is the first birth is from the biological parents. Second birth is when you get a spiritual master, a guru. So that's a spiritual birth. So twice born means, generally speaking, Brahmanas. Although they are born in Brahmanical family, they are not following Brahmanical culture. That's why it is mentioned here, fallen members of family of twice born. They are not following, they are fallen. So what they are supposed to follow, the Brahmanical culture, they are not following. That's why they are called Dvija Bandhu. Dvija means twice born. Bandhu means relative. Relative of twice born. They are not twice born, they are relative of Dvijas or fallen members of the family of twice born. They will not understand this, Sanskrit, these Vedic literatures. So they will easily understand the Mahabharata, Ramayana, which are all in storylines. So this Mahabharata, Ramayana, such itihasas are meant for them, not Vedas. So Vedas were not taught to such categories of people. So that's what mentioned here. Vyasadeva had already explained the text of the Vedas in various ways up to the Mahabharata for the understanding of the less intelligent women, Shudras, and fallen members of the family of twice born men. Srimad Bhagavatam is transcendental to all of them. Why? Because it doesn't, it is not affected by the three modes of material nature. Srimad Bhagavatam is beyond the three modes of material nature. The Vedas deal with matters related to three modes of material nature. But Bhagavatam is above that, transcendental. Transcend means beyond the three modes of Atindriya. All of them, because it has nothing to do with anything mundane. But in Vedas, all the branches of knowledge is given. Material, spiritual, everything is there. But Srimad Bhagavatam deals only with bhakti, transcendental matter. You will not find, how we can make bread, how we can start a business. All these things you will not find. This is exclusively bhakti literature about the pastimes of Supreme Personality of Godhead. How different leelas took place and how the reciprocation between the devotees and the Supreme Lord took place. Now, what are the different leelas he performed along with his devotees? So these are all on the platform of transcendence, beyond even the mode of goodness, Shuddha Sattvic stage, pure mode of goodness. So the inquiries are very intelligent and relevant. So the question asked or the inquiry asked by who? Shaunaka Rishi is very intelligent and relevant. So both the speaker and the hearer or the listener are top class, intelligent, not ordinary people. There also Sukadeva Goswami as a speaker and Parikshit Maharaj as a listener. Both are intelligent. Both are devotees. That's why 7 days and 7 nights, both of them didn't even know how it passed, without sleep and without food. So it was so encouraging, so inspiring to speak and listen to both of them. So they were not having any sleep, they were not having any hunger or thirst. So that is Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srimad Bhagavatam itself is a food for the soul. So this is the inquiry. So text 4. Tasya putro mahayogi samadrinir निर्विकल्पकाम् एकान्तमदिर् उन्निद्रो गूढो मूढा इवेयते तस्य पुत्रो महायोगी समद्रिन्निर्विकल्पकाम् एकान्तमदिरुन्निद्रो गूढो मूढा इवेयते. Okay, Sinimata ji.
हरे कृष्ण तस्य पुत्रो महायोगी समद्रिन् निर्विकल्पकः एकान्तमदिर् उन्निद्रो गूढो मूढ इवेयते.
Hari bol. Vivek Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Tasya putra mahayogi samadrin nirvikalpaka ekanta matir punajro gudho mudho iviyate.
Mayuri Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. तस्य पुत्रो महायोगी समद्रग निर्विकल्पकः एकान्तमतिरुन्निद्रो गूढो मूढ इवेयते.
Vandana Mataji.
तस्य पुत्रो महायोगी समदृढ निर्विकल्पका एकान्तमतिरुन्निद्रो गूढो मूढ इवेयते.
Okay. Jubi Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण तस्य पुत्रो महायोगी समदृक् निर्विकल्पकः एकान्तो मदिरुनिद्रो गूढो मूढ इवयेदे.
Very good. His Vyasadeva's son was a great devotee and equivalent monist, whose mind was always concentrated in monism. He was transcendental to mundane activities, but being unexposed, he appeared like an ignorant person. Okay. Okay. So Vyasadeva's son. Who is Vyasadeva's son?
Shugadeva.
Sukadeva Goswami.
So there goes Swami. Was a great devotee and equibalence. Equibalence. What is the meaning of equibalence? What's the meaning?
Very balanced Prabhuji.
Yes, equibalence means equanimity, equal is neutral, not high or low. He's a pure devotee. You know, he is beyond the dualities. He is beyond the dualities. Whose mind was always concentrated in monism. He was transcendental to mundane activities. He is not at all concerned about the material activities. Always absorbed in the Supreme Lord and his activities, his leelas. But being unexposed, he appeared like an ignorant person. But people see that just like an avadhuta, naked. He doesn't, feel that he belongs to this society. But people, even when he was coming, some children used to throw stone at him because some mad boy like. But he was a realized soul. And he never complained. He never, he is not concerned about what people are thinking, what people are doing also. Such a transcendental personality is this Sukadeva Goswami. That's why he appeared like an ignorant person. But is he ignorant? No. He is a self-realized soul. Equibalanced. He doesn't complain. What people think, what people speaks about him, he is not at all concerned. So he was a great devotee because he was a great devotee. He was a realized devotee. Srila Sukadeva Goswami was a liberated soul. See, liberated soul. He is not, although he is in the material world, he is not of this material world. He is beyond. He is transcendentalist. And thus he remained always alert, not to be trapped by the illusory energy. So that was the promise Lord Krishna also gave him. He didn't want to come out to this world of Maya. He was staying there in his mother's home for 16 years because he was scared that if he comes out, and will be trapped in Maya. So Vyasadeva told him, no, please. No, but he was not willing to listen even to Vyasadeva. Then Vyasadeva had to request Lord Krishna to come and convince him. When Krishna came and convinced him, don't worry, come out. You will not be trapped by Maya, I assure you. Then he came out. That's why he was in the womb for 16 years. So when he came out of the womb, he was a boy of 16 years old. So he remained always alert not to be trapped by the illusory energy. In the Bhagavad Gita, this alertness is very lucidly explained. The liberated soul and the conditioned soul have different engagements. So we're all conditioned souls. People like Sukadeva Goswami, Siddha Goswami, they're all liberated soul. Muktatma. We are Baddhatma. Conditioned. Why? We are in duality. They are beyond duality. What is duality means? Good, bad, success, failure, heat, cold. Okay, these are all duality, all opposites. It affects us. But duality doesn't affect them because they are beyond duality. Dvanda. Nirmana moha jada sangatosha. Adhyatmanava. What is that? Nirmana moha jada sangatosha. Dvandir vimukta sukha dukkha samnir gachandya moda padam avyayam tat. Dvandir vimukta. Dvanda means duality. Those who are freed from the duality. Jada sangha dosha. Those who are away from this wrong association. They can attain the padam avyantam, the Vaikuntha, the spiritual world, the inexhaustible, indestructible world, that is Vaikuntha. They can attain the spiritual world, not anyone else.
And Prabhu, other one is the Sitoshna Sukha Dukkha.
That is Matra Sparshastu Kaunteya, Sitoshna Sukha Dukkada, Agama Paino Anityas, Tam Tidishaswa Bharada. Okay, that is from Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So this also Nirmana Moha, Jita Sangha Dosha, Adhyatma Nitya, Vinivritta Kama, Dvande Vimukta Sukha Samnir Gachandya Muda Padamavyayam Tat. So we should be freed from the dualities. So Sukadeva Goswami, Siddha Goswami, these are all realized soul, these are all transcendentalist, liberated soul, unlike us. We are all conditioned soul, Baddhatma. So we are under the clutches of Maya, dealing with dualities. So the liberated soul is always engaged in the progressive path of spiritual attainment, which is something like a dream for the conditioned souls. For us, it's like a dream. The conditioned soul cannot imagine the actual engagement of the liberated soul. So when we see the activities of the liberated soul, transcendentalists, we will wonder, how is it possible? They are living this material world, but still they are not touched by the illusory energy of the Supreme Lord. They are always aloof, just like a lotus flower is staying without touch of the water, always aloof. They are also staying aloof from this material world's conditionings. While the conditioned soul thus dreams about spiritual engagement, the liberated soul is awake. Similarly, the engagement of a conditioned soul appears to be a dream for the liberated soul, both vice versa. A conditioned soul and a liberated soul may apparently be on the same platform, but factually they are differently engaged and their attention is always alert, either in the sense enjoyment or in the self-realization. So outwardly, to see that both of them, liberated and the conditioned souls, are doing the same activity, but they are totally apart. They are totally apart from each other. Why? The same activity, one is doing for their sense gratification, the other one is doing for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. So the same activity, the results are different. Always I give the example of Arjuna and Duryodhana fighting. Arjuna is also fighting. Duryodhana is also fighting. Arjuna is fighting for the pleasure of Supreme Lord Krishna. Duryodhana is fighting for his sense gratification. Both are fighting, but the results are different. One get no result, no karma. Arjuna doesn't get any karma. His activities are on the akarma platform, whereas the activity of Duryodhana is on karma platform because he is expecting some result out of it. So it's a fruitive activity. So here that's what it is said. Now, actually, they are differently engaged and their attention is always alert, either in sense enjoyment or in self-realization. The conditioned soul is absorbed in matter, whereas the liberated soul is completely indifferent to matter. This indifference is explained as follows. So, we, the conditioned souls, Baddhatmas, we are always interested in material activities. And we will do spiritual activities as a part-time, once in a week or once in a day or something like that. Every day, 1 hour, 2 hours, we will do spiritual activities. The rest of the time, we are spending for our sense gratification. Going to work, and taking care of the family and other activities for our sense gratification. But Krishna says, 24 hours devotional service. How is it possible? We are all in this material world. How we can devote 24 hours in Krishna service? So whatever material activities we are doing, do it keeping Krishna in the center for his satisfaction. The same activities, we are going to office, we are earning money, we are raising children, we are doing other activities, but these are all just to uplift ourselves spiritually. So we have to dovetail all the activities in such a way that we don't get any reaction for the activity that we do. So spiritualize the activity, the same activity. Going to office for what? We need money to take care of the family so that we can practice Krishna consciousness in a much better way. We need money. We need to pay the rent. We need to pay the bills. Isn't it? So this is for what? So that we can have a healthy life, nice family life, and we all can do devotional service for the pleasure of Supreme Lord. So this is Krishna conscious life. So we don't have to segregate. This is spiritual life and this is material life. So this is how the brahmacharis, the sannyasis, the pure devotees of Lord live. They are in this material world. They are also doing construction. They are doing construction of the temple for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. They are going distributing Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, to propagate Krishna consciousness movement. They are also working. They are also getting money, Lakshmi. They are using the service of the Lord. They are, what do you call? They're distributing prasadam so that others also Krishna consciousness slowly and gradually. So everybody is working. One is working for Krishna's pleasure. The other one is working for his own pleasure. So there is a gulf of difference in the result, although the activities remain same. So that's why it is mentioned the conditioned soul is absorbed in matter, whereas the liberated soul is completely indifferent to matter. All the activities, although it may appear to be material activity from our perspective, but their activities are not material, it is not contaminated, it is just for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. So this indifference is explained as follows. That is in the next verse, next week. Okay, text 5. So vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta Kodi Vaishnava ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Intai go Premanande Hari Hari Bol.